Okay, we're about to do a main relay replacement on a 1989 Honda Legend. This is the sedan 2.7 V6 KA4. But I think this will be the same procedure for all first generation Honda or Acura Legends. They were released as Honda here in Europe. This is the relay in question, or this is the replacement rather. So this is a new unit that is not original, but you can pick these up on eBay and other places. Main relay, it's a fuel pump relay. People call it different things. What this does, this is the relay that runs the fuel pump. So if your fuel pump is not priming when you turn on the ignition of the car, and if you have starting problems with the car, this might be the cause. Basically what happens is the solder, there's a chipboard inside here, the solder on those goes bad with time. It sits down under the steering column, especially in hot weather, like if the interior of the car is hot. The components, the heat expands the components in these, the components move apart, and there's no longer a good connection. And you'll see this, you can test this, which I'll make a short video on at the end of this, how to test this assembly. But here's, once you've diagnosed that this is your problem, here's how to find it and remove it. So it's a 10, like most Hondas and things this size, it's going to be 10 millimeters. So I've got a 10mm spanner, I've got a locking spanner that's 10 millimeter, and then a various sort of sockets and extensions which are also 10 millimeter. So the first thing I've done here is remove the cover here that sits underneath. So you want to remove the fuse box lid, and then there are screws on this cover. So there's one by my thumb there, there's two more up there, and then there's two on that side. So you want to remove 5 screws with a Phillips screwdriver, and then we can get underneath it. Now I put a little work light in here as well so we can see what we're doing. But essentially this is the main fuse box, and the relay, main relay, is directly behind here. So if we go underneath and look, you can see I've already unplugged it. That's the main relay there, this red one. This is the main relay, so that's where it is. It's a bit difficult to remove because it is attached by a bolt going that way, meaning the bolt head is behind this. So unless you've got, well, we'll see how we get about removing this, but basically this whole unit blocks the bolt, and at the back, don't know how well you can see that, but you can see the back of the screw just there. That is a welded on nut at the back of the bracket holding on the main relay. So you won't be able to turn that. It's one of those square nuts that's welded on. So it does need to come off from the other side. These relays do slide into the metal bracket. You can look on the back here and see that this is where the bracket slides in. So it is possible to push the centerpiece here, get it to unclip and then slide it out. I think that's possible. I've been trying it and I can't make it work. So I'm going to be removing the bracket. Now, because the bolt is directly behind this fuse box and I can't get to it, I'm going to start by trying to use a spanner, get to it from the side. Hopefully I'll have enough wiggle room. If not, maybe the locking spanner will be able to do it. So I'm going to try and figure this out now and be back shortly. Okay, here we are again underneath, and the spanner didn't work, but the socket does. So if you can see here where we are, where that is kind of stuck in, so look for this metal edge here, and then this is the vent tube going to the door, and then I have a series of socket extensions going up, and then eventually they reach the main relay, and I can now undo this. So that is how I solve this problem. If you have enough extensions and enough socket hinges, you'll be able to do that. So I'll now undo this and then show you what it looks like. All right, and here we go. It's out. So this is what the unit looks like. It's mounted that way, so you can see why getting to that bolt was difficult. It is 10 millimeters. And here is the bracket for the main relay. So now we should be able to slide this old relay off the bracket and replace it with our new relay. Now, before you do this, because it's a bit difficult, you can unplug the old relay and just plug in the new relay to verify that that solves your problem, because it would suck to do all this work and then find that this wasn't actually the problem. So do that, you know, plug this in. And I did that. I plugged this in before I removed the old one to verify that that was the problem. Here's the socket combination that worked for me. It would probably be good to have a little bit longer extension here, but it worked. So it's a small 10 millimeter socket on a hinge. So if you want to do it the way I did it, you'll need something like this. So let's try to slide this bracket off now. Okay, and here is a key thing to note, is that this bracket has little tabs at the bottom here. So the way this slides off does not slide that way, it slides that way and that way only. So that's something to keep in mind. You see these, I don't know how well you can see that, but these little tabs here, these little wings, basically stop it from sliding off any other direction. Okay, and I just got this started. So essentially what I did was lift here to clear this little, you've got to clear that little square piece of tab in that hole. You have to lift that to clear, and then it just slides off like that. So if you want to try sliding this off without undoing the bolt, maybe now you have the information that you need. So that's how it looks. It sits like that. So in order to slide it off, it actually has to go up. See, if the bracket's fixed, the relay has to go up to come free. You need to push in that the clip at the back, the button, or whatever you want to call it, the wedge, and then the relay needs to slide up and come out. I don't know if there's room to do that, and I'm not going to find out, but I recommend doing it this way, because that was fairly easy. That took about 10 minutes. Installation is the opposite of removal. So I hope this was helpful. Good luck out there. Was I going to talk about something else? Oh yeah, I was going to talk about how to test these. So there's a couple of ways you can test them. When you turn the ignition on, you'll see the lights on the dashboard come on, and the check engine light comes on for about 2 seconds. Those 2 seconds are during which the fuel pump primes. So if you listen carefully, you should hear like a whirring noise from underneath the back seats. That is your fuel pump priming. If you don't hear that, then your fuel pump is not priming, and it could be the main relay. When that check engine light goes off after the 2 seconds, there's like an audible click from this main relay. If you don't trust your hearing, and I didn't, then what you can do is, before you remove it, find it underneath and put your hand around it, and then turn the ignition on, and you'll see the check engine light comes on, and when that check engine light goes off, you should feel the click in the main relay. If it doesn't click, it's probably broken, probably faulty. Mine didn't click. Actually, sometimes it clicked and sometimes it didn't. But that was enough to give it away that there's a problem with it. yeah, I think that's everything I was going to cover. Oh yeah, another thing, these aren't the cheapest to buy, so if you are on a budget, you can open this and solder it. That is the same procedure for any main relay on any Honda, so it's not Legend specific. I'm just covering the Legend specific stuff, so go find somebody who knows how to solder better than I do, and hopefully they'll have a video on how to disassemble these. But there's 2 clips there, so this plastic casing gets bent out and then you pull down, and then you can resolder these, which will probably, and there's no point in discarding this. Japanese quality is much preferable to Taiwanese quality. There's a massive weight difference. This one, the Japanese one, is much weightier, so I will either resolder that and use it, or I will resolder it and keep it as a backup, a spare. But yeah, if you pull yours, don't throw it away, keep it. You can always fix it in the future. Who knows how long these will be available anyway. Good. I'm glad that's done, because this was much more difficult than it is on my Civic, as most things will probably be with this Legend that I bought a couple of days ago. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Leave a comment if you liked it. Hope I helped. See ya.